This is the Milo Sweet Podcast, where you'll learn to get unstuck. Start now. Conquer life's challenges by learning to do difficult. Find quick and clever ways to overcome. Wait, did you think life was going to be easy? Remember, all of your excuses are now dead to me. Let's get started. Guess what time it is? It's time for you to hit the subscribe button and find just 1% that you think will benefit from this. But if you're feeling a little like generous, right? Or you're super free with your time right now, probably doing nothing because you're listening to this. Well, maybe if you're doing something, actually just make yourself free right now. Hit subscribe. What are you waiting for? Hit it. Come on. Hit subscribe. Tell me what it was like to go to Morehouse and what's something that really stuck with you from your experience there?
Going to Morehouse was just it was an incredible experience. The first time I went there, I didn't like it. I said I'm never going to this school, because my mentality was just different. And when I was in high school, going on college tours, I was just 16. I'm like, oh, this school is so lame. There's no way I'm going here. It's all male school. I'm not going here. It just sounds so boring. And when I went back the second time around my senior year, my mentality had changed because I had, been through some things and evolved and kind of just changed my way of thought. I decided thought about what I really wanted in life. And when I went back the second time, I was my perspective was completely different. I'm like, wow, this place is actually incredible. This is where, some of the most prominent, most successful African-American men go to. This is where they come and grow, and then, they make history, later on in life in many different ways. This is just the Mecca for people that identify with me. So, to be around, so many just brilliant Black men, and there, even other men that weren't Black that were there, just that wanted to be a part of it as well. Because there is some diversity at Morehouse College, although we are HBCU. Just to be around those men and kind of think about how I grew up versus a lot of them. A lot of those guys were sons of very prominent and successful, powerful people, or famous people, and even to be close to Spelman, where you got the daughters of the exact same group of African American people who have just accomplished so much in life, and to think about and look at the way that they carry themselves and the knowledge that they had versus kind of me coming from just regular middle class family in South Side of Chicago. Nothing really that I would say incredible about anything about my family, from a power standpoint or success. Nothing really having been accomplished, but to be around people who came from families that accomplished so much and just listen to the way they thought and learn from their experiences was definitely changed my outlook on life, and just made me want to definitely shoot for more. That's how I say my experience was. It kind of seemed like it was meant to be. It was the best experience of my life, and if I could, I'd do it again.
Really? I think I know some other guys that went to Morehouse. I don't. I feel like I do. No one comes to mind, but it's one of those things. Once you see them again, you're like, oh yeah, you went there. So if there's little Quay Grayson at home right now and his mom is listening to this podcast, what do you think? And he's listening to it by default, right? What do you think is something that they should think about to make that decision? Hey, I'm thinking about going to Morehouse. What's one thing that will help them decide if that's the school for them or not?
I know when I think about that, I would say just think about that's a really tough question there. Because I've already said, you gotta think about what you want, and that's kind of how I live my life. Yeah.
What did you want? So you're at home. What did you want? You wanted to be a better person. You wanted to be, I'm putting words in your mouth now, but just, did you think of the kind of man you want to be? What made that decision for you?
I wanted little Quay Grayson. That's funny. Yeah. In the house, When I went there that second time, at that point, I knew I wanted to be a serial entrepreneur, serial investor. I knew I had no money or experience, but I knew that a lot of people that came from the school, even people who weren't necessarily coming from established families, were able to grow and they were able to mold themselves into who they're supposed to be. So I knew that it wasn't going to be easy. I wasn't just going to, I'm going to go to this school and then I'm just going to be like this new, person for like the rest of my life. But the values that, being well read, well traveled, well spoken, just being like, able to get around, travel the world, and different things like that. Morehouse just kind of instills these different values into you to kind of let you know that, yeah, it's not going to be easy getting where you want to go, but you can get there. You just have to continue to kind of expand and build, and most importantly, you don't give up. Like you have to execute. Has to be action. Like you have to be doing things to get there. Like nothing's just going to happen. You're not just wake up and like be this millionaire. I mean, some people do, but more than likely, like most people who've accomplished so much, like nobody really knows like the amount of work they had to put in to get there, or the things that they went through, the bad times, the struggles that they went through to get there. So I would say, to anybody who's kind of trying to make that decision on where you want to go, like you have to really think about who you want to be. Think about 10 years down the road, 20 down the road, 20 years. I mean, you don't know when it might happen, but just think about ultimately what you want out of life. And you can get that regardless of wherever you go. It's just, if you feel like you don't have that enlisted in you, or if you feel like you need to be around more people that want that out of life. Like for me, I wanted to make an impact, leave a legacy. That's what I want to do. So when I leave, when I'm no longer on this earth, I think about what will people remember me for? So like, what will the world have that I leave behind? So that was a big thing for me. And one of the reasons I chose to go there, and going there and looking at what other leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King and Benjamin Elijah Mays, W.B. Du Bois, and you look at Spike Lee, Samuel Jackson, you look at like all the things that they left behind on Morehouse's campus, and some of them are still alive, but you look at Dr. King, just think about like what he left behind. That's kind of what inspired me. So to be on a campus and kind of walk those grounds every day, and you see like, sometimes you see the burial grounds because some people are buried on the campus. Like you can see, and you go and look at like the different things that they left behind on that campus. There's a lot of different, poems and quotes and things like that, and just archives, just knowledge. But when you think about the legacy they left to inspire other Black men, I just think it's a great thing. So for me, that was like one of the big reasons I chose to go here, because I felt like I needed that piece. Like that was something that I was missing from my life. So me going there kind of helped me get that aspect of, I guess what I would say, what I was kind of missing for myself. And so anybody trying to make those choices on where to go, and you just think about what you want out of life, and what you're missing, and figure out where the gap is, and wherever you feel like you need to be to fill that gap. Like I say, just go for it. It doesn't necessarily have to be Morehouse. It could be anywhere in the world. So you just kind of got to really think hard on that. But for me, it was definitely the best choice. I mean, I think if I would have stayed in Chicago, I don't think I would have finished college. I don't think I would have even pursued half the things that I've done now if I would have stayed home, because I think that I may have fell back into my old ways, just being influenced by family and friends around me that I grew up with. Not saying that everybody is negative, but, you kind of are what you spend your time around. So I wanted to be around people who were smarter than me, people who had more than me, people who, came from families that were more successful than mine. You kind of have to, they always say if you're the smartest person in the room, like you need to go to another room. So, every day trying to go and surround myself with people who are more intelligent, more successful.
I think that's super impactful, especially, to little Quay Grayson there. I want you to just dare to hope and believe that you can put yourself in a different room and don't let the insecurity of not being smart enough or good enough or not knowing what to do, being out of your element, stop you. I think that message is definitely one that brings hope to say, hey, you really can be who or whatever you want to be. Disclaimer, it will be hard. It will be tough. Don't give up. Don't make excuses. Get to work. Do it now and get in another environment. Environment is so key to how you see yourself. So I definitely think that ties into relocation a lot, because relocation allows you to get perspective and to walk circumspectly around, like walk around yourself in a circle. We have just a piece of ourselves that we understand, but giving ourselves that whole piece through relocation is very powerful, because we understand sides and entities of us that we did not quite understand in our last place. Now I
All right, that's another episode in the books. Hello? Hello? I said it's over. Why are you still listening? Like, seriously, the episode is over. If you're still listening right now, you know what? You're probably a chronic procrastinator. Guess what? I'm still listening to. Come on, for real, seriously. We gotta go do something productive. No, like, for real. No, for real, for real. Okay, you can keep listening.